Hello friends! Today we are going Norrtälje. It is little north of Stockholm, Sweden. We will take double-decker bus. We are seating upper layer. We have 2 families. We are enjoying ride. This is first time for me here in Sweden at double-decker bus. See how beautiful nature outside bus. Lot of trees are there. Normally Sweden has lot of trees. Now, just spring started, still trees don't have not much leaves. That resin proper green is not showing. See, besides road there is fence. That was builded to protect animals. Especially deer and mus can run or cross the road. That time accident may happen. To stop that, this fence is important.
प्रॉक्सी यूज करने के बोलो तो कम दाम प्रॉक्सी
Actually, in Sweden, animal protection law is very strong. Even if you kill a snake, you will get couple of years of jail. I will tell you about Norrtälje. It is a small city. It is a locality situated in Roslagen County, Sweden. Registry for Norrtälje Judicial District. Norrtälje is located at the far end of Norrtälje, about 68 kilometers northeast of the center of Stockholm and 72 kilometers from Uppsala. Here, around 225 ancient monuments have been found within the boundaries of the Old Town. These are graves from the late Iron Age. Within the urban area, there have been 2 or 3 ancient castles at the former villages of Nordrona, Salbacka, and Nutby. A copy of a lost runic carving has been re-erected in Zetterstenska Parken. The name was written in 1298 in Telgium and in 1409 Norrtälje. This has been considered in the legal literature to stand for a name related to the inhabitants of the area, those who live at the incision, by which is meant by the long bay. As early as the 1200s, there is said to have been a trading post in Norrtälje. For the next 2 centuries, the late medieval village of Tali was assigned to Uppsala Cathedral for the needs of the Archbishop's table. The town of Norrtälje was founded by King Gustav II Adolf in 1622, as were a number of other towns after the outbreak of the 30-Year War, partly as a consequence of the introduction of lilla tullen. The markets in Lanneby and Söderbykarl were moved to the new town. In addition, Gustavus Adolphus allocated an area of land owned by the Bjorno Manor on the north side of the Norrtälje River for the Norrtälje Rifle Factory. In order to attract German gunsmiths to settle at this factory, the king initially offered these craftsmen also burghers with the right to foreign trade. However, these latter rights were revoked in 1636. Therefore, Norrtälje's development was quite modest, and the city remained a rather modest market and fishing town throughout Sweden's time as a great power. Norrtälje became its own parish in 1643 and got its own mayor in 1678. In 1648, Norrtälje was granted to Lennart Torstensson, a fief that was withdrawn in connection with Karlsjö's reduction. The population at the end of the 1600s was probably about 600 people. In 1702, the town had 200 houses. We have almost reached the city. In 1700th century, during the final stages of the Great Northern War, the city was attacked and burned in the late summer of 1719 with its rifle factory by the Russian galley fleet, which also ravaged a large number of Swedish naval towns along the coast of the Baltic Sea during the Russian raids. This drama has been depicted for many years in the Chronicle plays, an open-air theater held in several of the city's open spaces. Due to poverty, the reconstruction was slow and mostly small cottages with turf roofs were built. The church was completed in 1733. In 1800th century, during the Finnish War of 1808 to 1809, Norrtälje was designated as a staple town, whereby the rifle factory would be protected by significant troops stationed at the town's current sports ground. During the first years of the 1840s, the weapons production was finally discontinued and replaced by a sawmill adjacent to the old Kvarnholmen, a short distance downstream in the Norrtälje River. The only remaining building from the days of the factory is the blacksmith workshop, which has been the city's museum since the 1920s. The building and associated land are now owned and operated by the Roslagsmuseet Foundation, with its office in the yard that the factory's previous owner, Lieutenant Zettersten, had built of, among other things, timber, probably from several of the factory's former buildings. The lieutenant's English-born wife also had an English park built, the character of which can still be discerned. In modern times, with the 1900s also came the ubiquitous mechanization of the area's agriculture, as well as the associated storage of grain and associated shipping. Continued grounding and changed transport conditions after the Second World War have meant that the grain storage in Uppsala has been moved to Norrtälje and given the city its characteristic silo tower. Southwest of the city, in the extension of Stegelbackskatten, is the Nordrona area. There are about 60 buildings here that were erected in 1952. The area was built according to the 1940 military building investigation type drawings and was added to the Stockholm Anti-Aircraft Regiment, LV3, which was relocated from Stockholm in 1952 and came to change its name in 1957 to Roslagens Anti-Aircraft Regiment, LV3. In 1979, the Air Defense Shooting School staff was added, which was moved from Vado. Through the Defense Act of 2000, all military activities in Norrtälje ceased, and the area was declared a listed building in 2001. Hope you enjoyed Norrtälje city history.